Today we are taking a look at Shanks from One Piece. This is figure from THEORAMA SOUL line by Banpresto. One Piece is a pirate adventure series built around the search for the legendary treasure known as the One Piece. As pirates sail the seas chasing ambition and fame, the story unfolds through major adventures and battles across the great age of pirates. Shanks is the chief of the Red Hair Pirates and one of the 4 emperors. He is the pirate Luffy looks up to and the one who entrusted him with the straw hat. Today's highlights for this figure are the intense expression paired with the hockey effect, the sense that combat could begin at any second, and the detailed diorama base. The face is built around a hard forward stare, tightened brows, the 3 scars running across the face, and the short beard lines around the mouth and chin. Around that expression, red, clear effect parts rise and spread in sharp branching shapes, turning the head and upper body into the center of a visible burst of pressure. The figure also creates strong tension through posture rather than speed alone. Shanks is seated low on the cannon with his legs spread wide, one arm hanging down, the sword crossing the front of the body, and the cape sweeping far behind him. That combination makes the pose feel like a pause right before movement rather than a relaxed, seated composition. The diorama base adds real scene-building value. The cannon, the broken wooden planks, and the scattered circular wreckage pieces all give the figure a battlefield setting rather than a simple support. With the red effect parts running through the space around the body and base, the whole display reads as one connected dramatic moment. This channel brings you figure reviews and anime merchandise updates straight from Japan. If you enjoyed this kind of content, don't forget to subscribe. The face is built around sharp control rather than exaggerated shouting. The eyes are narrow and focused, with the upper lines pulled long and tight so the gaze presses forward even from a distance. The brows angle downward toward the center, and that inward pull gives the entire expression a hard, concentrated tension. Across the forehead and down the cheek, the 3 scars are placed in a clean descending run that immediately identifies the character and also break the smooth surface of the face with a strong visual mark. The mouth is set in a short, flat line, and the mustache and chin beard are rendered with separate thin strokes rather than a single filled shape, which keeps the lower face firm and defined without becoming too heavy. The nose line drops cleanly from the brow area into a straight central ridge, and the cheeks stay relatively lean, which helps the stern expression read clearly. The neck is long and exposed, and because the shirt opens so deeply below it, the head feels set above the body with very little visual interruption. The hair begins with a center part and falls in thick front sections that frame the forehead and cheeks. Each strand group is carved with deep parallel grooves, so the hair reads as layered locks rather than a single smooth helmet shape. The front sections hang low enough to enclose the face, but they do not cover the eyes, which keeps the expression fully visible. From the top of the head, the hair flows backward into longer ridged sections that gather tightly toward the back, and the sculpt keeps that direction consistent all the way across the crown. The red hair color is also handled in a way that keeps the hairstyle immediately recognizable, and the combination of the center split, the front framing locks, and the swept back crown gives the head a strong identity from both the front and the rear. The upper body is organized around a deep open white shirt and a large dark cape that frames it from behind. The shirt opens wide from the neck to well below the chest, leaving the collarbones, chest, and upper abdomen fully visible. Because the opening narrows lower down, the fabric appears to gather inward as it descends, and that keeps the torso from reading as a flat, exposed surface. The collar of the shirt folds outward in two separate points, and outside that, the cape collar rises much higher with broad flared edges, creating a double-layered frame around the neck and shoulders. The cape itself is one of the dominant forms in the whole figure. It sits thickly around the shoulders, then spreads outward and backward into a long, sweeping mass that gives the composition a strong rearward flow. The outer edges lift and curve instead of hanging straight down, which makes the back silhouette feel active even though the figure is seated. One arm drops loosely between the legs, with the sleeve rolled up and gathered around the forearm in soft folds. The hand hangs relaxed, and the fingers taper downward in a way that contrasts nicely with the tension in the face. Across the front of the body, the sword passes horizontally with a green-wrapped grip and a gold guard. The circular guard adds a large curved shape in front of the torso, and because the sword crosses in front while the blue scabbard extends behind the body, the weapon helps tie the front and back of the figure together. Around the shoulders and torso, the red clear effect parts rise in jagged branching arcs, and these sharp translucent shapes cut across the softer folds of the cape and shirt to intensify the whole upper body presentation. The lower body is built around a low seated pose on top of a cannon, and that single choice gives the figure its immediate sense of readiness. The legs are spread apart with the knees bent outward, so the body occupies a wide triangular footprint instead of collapsing into a compact seated form. The pants are cropped and gathered below the knees, with the fabric compressing into repeated folds that clearly separate the fuller thigh area from the exposed lower legs. Across the pants, large floral motifs and smaller flower marks are printed in different positions, and these decorations keep the broad surfaces from becoming empty. Below the rolled hems, the lower legs are bare and marked with short vertical hairlines, which gives the figure a more rugged finish. The feet wear simple sandals with two straps across the top, and the sandal edges are bordered with small raised stud-like details. Because the feet are planted at different angles, the pose gains more variation at the very bottom rather than becoming symmetrical. The cannon under the body is not treated as a smooth cylinder. Its surface is covered with rough pitted texture, circular banding, and cut marks, so it feels worn and heavy. A short rope detail is inserted into one side, and this small, added piece helps break up the large, rounded mass. Underneath, the base is made from broken wooden planks arranged in stacked layers with visible grain lines and uneven fractured ends. Near the feet, circular broken wreckage parts lie across the boards, adding another shape family to the scene. The red clear effect parts also continue through the lower section, emerging beside the cannon and base so the energy effect does not stay isolated around the head alone. This figure is approximately 24 centimeters tall. That's about 9.4 inches. For size comparison, here's a 350 milliliter can. That's about 12 ounces in the US. Overall, Shanks by Banpresto stands out for the way this figure combines a commanding seated pose, a sweeping cape, and a fully staged battle diorama into one cohesive display. The face immediately does the heavy lifting. The narrowed eyes, sharply angled brows, 3 facial scars, and the short beard lines around the mouth all work together to give the figure a hard, pressuring stare rather than a loud or exaggerated expression. That restraint suits the character well because the presence comes from control instead of excess. The hair supports that same impression. Its center-parted layout, thick framing strands, and tightly swept crown keep the head unmistakably recognizable while also giving the front and rear views equal sculptural interest. The torso is equally strong. The shirt opens deeply to expose the chest and upper abdomen, which gives the body a clear central line, while the folds lower down pull inward and keep the opening from looking empty. Around that, the raised shirt collar and the much larger cape collar create layered framing that makes the neck and head feel even more prominent. The sword crossing the front of the figure adds another major line through the composition, and the gold guard introduces a rounded accent that breaks up the otherwise sharp and stretched forms. The cape is one of the biggest strengths of the piece. Rather than simply draping behind the body, it lifts and spreads outward in a broad flowing sheet, which gives the entire silhouette motion from the shoulders backward. That backward sweep is then contrasted by the forward pressure of the stare and the downward drop of the front arm, so the figure always feels pulled in more than one direction at once. The red clear effect parts are what complete that tension. They rise around the head, shoulders, sides, and base in branching arcs, and they give visible form to the pressure the pose is already suggesting. The lower half and base keep the display from losing momentum. The wide legs spread, gathered cropped pants, exposed lower legs, and sandals make the seated position feel grounded without making it passive. The floral patterning across the pants adds extra visual information to the large fabric areas, while the cannon under the body gives the whole pose a heavy central anchor. Underneath that, the broken wood planks and wreckage parts turn the support into an actual scene. Because of that, fans of One Piece or Shanks will definitely enjoy this piece. With that focus, collectors who appreciate prize figures with strong diorama presence and a clear, battle-ready atmosphere should find it a worthy addition. That's it for this video. If there's any part of the figure you liked, feel free to leave a comment and share your thoughts. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video.